Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake of robertoblake.com, and today I'm showing you guys my YouTube setup. Links to my entire YouTube setup will be in the description below, so make sure you're checking that out. So let's take a quick peek at my setup. So let's break down everything that I'm using for my YouTube set. We're going to talk about my lights, the camera, and the audio equipment, as well as what I'm using to do my video editing. For the past 3 years, the majority of my videos have been shot on the Nikon D3200. It's a DSLR camera. It costs about $350 with a lens. Right now, I primarily use a 35mm f1.8 lens with that. That costs about another $200. So the camera setup is about $550. I'm shooting my 4K video footage with the Panasonic Lumix G7. I did a complete review on that and a couple more videos about it. It's a 4K video camera that runs about $700 with a lens. So not bad. That's what I'm shooting with right now. When I'm shooting my vlogging videos, I'm typically shooting on my iPhone 6s or my Samsung Galaxy S7. Those are both excellent cameras. Work with what you have. A lot of people can't go out and buy a camera, so using your smartphone is perfectly fine. For my lighting kit, I'm not using anything fancy right now. I'm using a Square Perfect lighting kit that costs about $120. It's got 5 bulbs and it's got controllable switches on the back, so I can use as much light as I need, or I can cut back some of the light if I don't need it for whatever reason. I am going to be upgrading these lights to bicolor lights. Those are going to be more expensive. They're going to cost about $260 a piece. That's going to be a $500 to $600 lighting setup. I still will have links to that stuff in the description, since that is going to be something that will be coming to the channel pretty soon here. So that's my lighting setup, and you don't have to spend a ton of money. Anywhere from $50 to $100 is more than enough to get you great lighting. A lot of you have talked about how great the audio is on the channel. Well, I'm only using a $20 Sony lapel mic for most of my audio here on the YouTube channel. Recently, Saramonic sent a wireless mic system that I'm using more often, and that still is cheaper than most of the wireless mic systems out there from Sony, Sennheiser, and Rode. It's about $350, $360, and it's actually working out really well, and the audio quality on that is still pretty excellent, and it gets a decent range. I'll have a review of that coming to the channel soon, but it's something I want to use a lot more. I also have the Rode VideoMic Go for when I'm shooting with multiple people or I'm at an event, but recently I actually snapped the mounting plate on that, so I'm going to be replacing that with a Rode VideoMic Pro instead. I run my audio directly into my video cameras. I don't like to sync stuff in post. I like having it directly there in the video. That makes editing a lot faster for me. Speaking of editing, I edit on a custom-built Windows PC that I built this summer. Before that, I was editing mostly on my iMac and on my laptops. I retired the iMac to being kind of a social media machine that sits over at my standing desk, and I'll have a review of my standing desk coming out for you guys pretty soon here. But mostly I use my Dell XPS 13 now for mobile video editing on the go. I edit smartphone stuff from my actual smartphones using Adobe Premiere Clip, and when I'm working on my desktop here in the office, I'm using dual Asus monitors, my custom Windows PC, and I primarily edit in Adobe Premiere Pro. There are other video editing software that I have and that I use mostly to do tutorials for you guys, because not everyone can afford Premiere Pro, but it is the video editing program that I'm the most comfortable in. It's the one that I've used the longest. I've been using that since I was a kid, so that's how I prefer to work, but everybody has their own workflow. There's really not a right or wrong answer to it. When I'm doing product reviews, I like to put a lot of that stuff on my workbench. This workbench is also where I do stuff with the laptops and with other things that I'm sorting out. It's where I like tinker with the PC whenever I'm putting new components in it. And when I'm shooting those product videos, I often either use one of my Zycos tripods. I just use cheap tripods most of the time, but I also have a slider that I use for some of those pan and tilt shots. and moving shots, and that is something that Immortan sent me. They're a product sponsor. They sent me that. It would usually cost $100, so it's a great slider for beginners that have a small budget. I put that on 2 Delica tripods. Those work out really well for me, and all this stuff is affordable. Both of those tripods were probably about $50 or $60. The slider is $100, so not bad. There are a few other gadgets and action cams that I use, but mostly what I've talked about here is the primary setup for the YouTube channel. This is pretty much all the gear I'm using. I keep it pretty simple. I shoot with one camera for a main camera angle, and then I use cutaway footage and B-roll shot on another camera. Mostly, I do everything on the Nikon D3200, but I'll use a second Nikon D3200 sometimes to shoot B-roll, or I'll use the Panasonic Lumix G7 to shoot my B-roll. Shooting the B-roll footage and the products with the 4K video camera just gives me a lot more options to crop and to zoom and to do other things, so I think that's pretty cool. Another part of my audio setup that you guys have probably seen is my Audio-Technica ATR 2100 desk microphone. This is what I use to do the tutorial videos and do my voiceovers or any redubbing that I need to do. I run that with an XLR cable into a Behringer mixer. The Behringer mixer is about $50. So now you guys know all the gear and equipment that I use to make my YouTube videos and how I edit them, and now you have all the same resources that I do if you want. I've actually never kept this a secret. This has been in the description of most of my YouTube videos for the last 2-3 years, but I know a lot of people don't read the description, so making a video, just makes it a lot easier on everybody. If you guys want to get any of this gear, you can use the Amazon links in the description and in the annotation. That does help out and support the channel, and you guys pay nothing extra. If this video can get 700 likes, then I will make a video where I actually break down how I shoot and edit my YouTube videos for you guys. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you're hitting that like button. Anyway, like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the other awesome content on the channel. Remember, YouTube tip videos are usually on Fridays. As always, you guys, thanks so much for watching, and don't forget, create something awesome today.